Hello, 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 and welcome to the Freedom from the Night Tales of the Supernatural. We will be getting into love and war, the warring, the loving, and in the battlefield out there that we are stuck in between male and female of this whole subject. Okay, it's a subject that is just going on for many years for people saying that they say one thing and then they say another. We got men saying that it's about, I mean, women saying it's about love, and then we got men who don't even want to be even touching love. Like they don't even want to be bothered with love because of the war that's within them. Okay, it's a war within them, and the the things that's happening about that war that is within them is because of what they was taught by their forefathers. But see, that's the thing, because we're not separated. We keep acting as though, we keep talking as though we're separated. Well, men like this, well, women like that, but we're one. See, that's the thing. Like with God in the midst of all things, we are one. And it's a lot of people who have been in single parenting homes think that this is just a us versus them thing. They think it's a woman versus man thing. It's not. It's not. And it was never meant to be a war within the man. Because what's warring in them is the same thing that's warring inside that woman. Some women have a war on the inside of them too. Their fathers wasn't in their life as well. So it's a generational thing that has been passed down on and on and on up until now. Okay? So it has nothing to do with it being a man thing or a woman thing when it comes to love and when it comes to emotions, which is when you don't have the family structure, which places you at royalty. And don't forget, I am your host, Shantae Washington. And as I was saying, if you don't have a place, if you don't have a place set up to where it's a foundation of the mother and the father in the household, which places you at royalty in the kingdom, and you're able to walk there, you're able to know what you need to do. You ain't warring against each other, uh, or you didn't have anything to emotionally involve you in warring against the next person opposite of you, right? Because it's always easy to be with somebody who's the same as you because you don't have to war as much. You don't have to war with someone who is the same as you, which comes into being in the law of abomination, which I'm going to talk about that some other day, being in the law of abomination, which is all the people who again, I'll talk about that tomorrow or another day. I don't know when, but I'm gonna talk about it. Okay. Um. So so when you got the foundation of that, then of love. If you got the foundation of love, then you'll know what love means. And welcome, welcome, welcome. I am going to say that welcome to my channel. This is my class, and all are welcome, man, woman, children, and babies. Okay, although I don't think they'll let babies on to this, but at the same time, all are welcome to listen as of appropriate age that can be on her. But this is for everybody. Everybody. Okay? Everybody. Because I mean, look, I'm a queen. We all as women should carry ourselves as queens. Okay? We all are queen. We As long as you put God in it, as long as you put God in it, You will forever be that queen. You'll always be the queen. Okay? And if you put in the world in it, you're going to lose yourself every time. You're going to lose your soul every time. Okay? If you putting everybody else in it, you're going to have to go through all their gods plus the gods that you dealing with as you are walking in your flesh. And then it's going to take you a long time to come back home. Look, you done lost your soul. So it's going to take you a long time to walk in your royalty with God. So we all are queens. We just have to understand that we have to walk this walk with God. His son Jesus is what wakes us up every day. And yes, the devil can't wait to befall all the things upon us every single day that we've gathered up the day before that to put into our remembrance. Okay? He can't wait to do that. But at the same time, we have a God. We walk in that spirit. Don't let the flesh fall down on you. Don't do it. Don't let that flesh fall down on you. That's abomination. And again, I'm going to talk about the law of abomination tomorrow. But today we talking about love. Okay? And I'm not going to stay too long on this subject. I'm going to try to make it as quick as I possibly can. But welcome all to my class. I am doing some teaching um, on love. I am doing teaching on love. So welcome to my class. Welcome, welcome. All is welcome here. So again, as I was saying, love, okay? We're on the subject of love. And love, if you don't love, it's so many people I keep hearing say that it's not about love. It's about this. It's about that. It's about everything of the world except for what it's really about, right? And it's not only about, or it's just not only about. I mean, look, it don't matter how you say it. If you want to put only in there to excuse the qualifications of love, go right ahead. But love is still got to be there. And I'm gonna tell you why love has to be there. Because God is love. And if you don't equal up to love, well, guess what? You have to be edified up in it. Okay? Do know that regardless of if you don't want it to be about love or not, it's still about love. And you're going to, at some point, have to come jointly, fit it in. All your body parts must obtain to love. It just has to. If something is off, I'm telling you right now that if your body parts don't equate to love, it's like scattered body parts across everywhere. Your body parts are scattered. They're everywhere. And I mentioned that in another video already. But I'm saying it again. That if your body parts don't equate to love, then it will not be fitted together. That means that your body parts are scattered in different places. Okay? And you don't know where that may be. Somebody has got the key to your body part. And they don't supposed to have that key. You supposed to have the key. And I'm hearing people always say how other people may have the key to you and all that. They don't supposed to have the key. You're supposed to have your own key. Your own key. Okay? You are supposed to have your own key. Nobody is supposed to be delivering you back to you your key because they took a piece of your body part with them. And that's how you have to look at it. If somebody is giving you a key back to you in the place of your hand because it was yours, that means that that person owns a piece of your body part. And you're going to have to get it back by humbling yourself and operating out of love. The only way that you can do it is if you let go of anger, let go of wrath, because all of that is an abomination. That's what your forefathers did before you was born. And then they passed that stuff down to you in the flesh. Okay? All that stuff was done in the flesh. Now it's time to walk hand in hand in love. Love is God. God is so many things in all, in one. But he connects us through it. And the only way to be connected to him in spirit is through love. Now, I'm not talking about the worldly love and how they love, all these different type of godly loves. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the love of the peace of the two edge of the sword love. That type of love. The love of God, God the understanding. God is God the understanding. That's who God is. God the understanding. God is understanding. Understanding is God. God is understanding. That's who he is. And so without love, you cannot understand a thing because God loves on us. He has placed love with us. He has placed love on the inside of us. And that's what supernaturally fills us in our body parts, reconnecting all our joints, okay? In the healing that you need. Love reconnects all our body parts, fitting it back together again so that we can be able to have the supply that we need. Okay? We need supply. But see, everybody wants to go out and get supply from somebody else. Okay? So if so so again, let me say this. If you don't love, if you don't love, you must be increased in the body to the edification of love. Let me repeat that again. If you don't love, you must be increased in the body to the edification of it, which is love. The it is love. You have to love. Not the way the people want you to love. That's their abomination of love. That's not what God's love is. God's law of love is different. It's not what you think it is. It's not the stuff that got to do with the kissing and the hugging and the doing for me and doing for you. That's not the equation of God's love. Although there is some doing for you, but it's due to the understanding. It's due to God. God is the understanding. Understanding is God. It's not a separate word. It's the same. God understanding. God is wrath. He is. He just is. He's jealous. He is. He just is. He is. He's so many things, which is why he is God. And all these other separated gods across the earth scatters your body. And that makes you to hate. That makes you live in hate because you missing the part. You missing the piece of you. You missing that part of you. You need that other part. God pieces the parts together. Him, God does. He pieces the parts together. And knowing in part, you would know fully if God and you walked together. If you walked with God always. So if you don't love, you must understand this, that you must be increased in the body, your flesh, to the edification of it. Do know that that is going to happen if you don't love. All body parts must be fitted into love. Understand it. All body parts must be fitted into love due to supply. And this is due to supply. All right? You should never be hunger. You should never be hungering or thirsting for anything. You should always have your own supply all the time. So all body parts must be fitted in love. And this is due to the supply. The supply is love. All right. The supply is love. Understand what the supply is. The supply is love. Love is the supply, which is why we have other people always looking for love. It ain't that, oh, they always want the supply. No, the supply is love. They always want love. They gonna get it how they get it. They always going to want love. Even if love is not with them, they're always going to want love, either if it's with them or not. People are going to always want love. So you can go and say that you don't it's not about love all you want to. You're still under the law of God, honey, and you're going to want love. Love is something that you're going to always want, regardless of how you feel about it from the outside world and what they did to you because of their love. Those are just people. That ain't God. You've been loving on the wrong thing for the longest. Now it's time to come back to God and love on God. Let him show you what love is. So due to so due to the supply, I'm gonna say this because you can't just go around taking other people's supply of love because that's what you're looking for. The supply is love. I don't want to separate those words because they're the same. Supply that the people are looking for is love because they are dealing with a warring in on the inside. They are warring. It is so many different types of snakes rolling and crawling on the inside of their flesh. And that's all they know is their carnal self. So they at war within that substance and that supply of the flesh. Because so that means that they're in hate. They are in their body of hate. And you need supply for anything. You need supply for the flesh. You need supply for the spirit. You need supply for the soul. You need supply. Supply is necessary in order to make it out here. So this is why you must be, if you do not have love, you must be increased in the body to the edification of it. You will be. You will be. You shall be. God will make it be. All your body parts must be fitted in love. The supply is needed for any and every body. Supply. So the supply is love. So it's not that people are looking for supply. It's people looking for love. They looking for love. And the longer the person holds to it, to the love, they gonna stick around to get that supply, which is love. That's all it is. It's not nothing that's far drawn out. Like supply, like what supply? What supply they need? What they trying to get? Look, they trying to get love. That's all that is. All they trying to do is get the supply of love. Supply and love is not separated. They are one word together. Supply is love and love is supply. They're not a different category. They are the same. People trying to separate people, but they are, people are the same. And I'm going to get off into that too about how people are the same. Okay. It's just about, again, like I said before in another video, it's just about the relationship that you have, who you have your relationship with, either your forefathers when you have your relationship with God, which He brings His Son Jesus to wake you up every day. But if you got your relationship with your forefathers, then guess what's going to break? Guess what's going? Jesus is going to wake you up, but then that falling is going to come down upon you and draw you into it, and you're going to be tempted, and you're going to be overthrown, because God going to have to make a judgment, and after God make the judgment, you're going to be overcame by the temptation. Okay, you're going to be overcame by the temptation, and the outcome is to not to be overcame by overcome by temptation. That's the outcome. You're not supposed to. So again, supply. You can't just take anybody's supply. So you have to, God has to fit you into the body, all of your body parts into love. He has to fit you in there, because that's Him. If you belong to God, everybody belongs to God. So it's not no believer stuff and unbeliever stuff. This is believers and unbelievers alike. Everybody has to be fitted into love, no matter how much you hate, no matter what you're going off of, no matter what you're seeking after. Love, you have to be fitted into love regardless. All your body parts have to be fitted there. And the supply is of love. And love is the supply. That's all that is. It is nothing complicated. It's just a supply of something is love. You're looking for love. And when you go about that, you're looking for love in all the wrong places. These places that you're trying to go to, boards out here, is in your flesh. You trying to go for love in your flesh, and that's not love. That's lust. God spoke about the abomination of lust. Lust is the abomination of the world. That's your flesh. You're operating out of that and think that that is going to supply you enough. You think that's love. It's not love. That's just lust. That's lust. And it's abomination unto God, which is why so many people don't want to deal with the opposite of them. They would prefer to deal with the same person. And they got different names for a certain situation. But in reality, all it is that a person loves a person with a person is depleted of love, will better yet want to deal with the same type of person, whether it's a female on female, a man on man, or a woman and man. Is a woman and man, or a man and woman. They if they are depleted of love, they always want the same kind of person to deal with, because it's a generational thing. It's been it's been passed down from the forefathers. It's 3 to 4 generations of this that has been done. Okay. And it's been passed on. So this is what they're used to, you know. And again, they got names for it. They got names like bisexual. They got names by like gay. They got names on top of these things that has caused them to be with their kind. All this is that people are running with their kind. Their kind is their kind. That's who they run with. And their kind is man. It's not God. Because the God kind would be running with God and would not do abomination in the flesh. That's something that would not be so. And no matter what the names they give it, they would not be running with their kind. They will be running with God kind. You understand? That's all that boils down to is the kinds. What what you're what you're running with. Who in relationship are you running with? What's that? What that relationship look like? Because we got God kind and we got the world kind. The people, those people who run with their kind. And it adds up to the names that they got out here. And in the titles and all these names is where everything get confused and everybody fighting over those titles. I ain't gay. I'm bisexual. I ain't bisexual. I'm gay. I ain't I ain't gay or bisexual. I'm a lesbian. I mean, that's when the fight starts because this is basically undermined it, and it's all it is they are running with their kinds. Their kind is their kind. God's kind is his kind. Okay? The kinsmanship. I spoke about that in a video about the kinsmanship. You run with your kinsman. Okay? And that's what people do. They run with their kinsmen. They running with their kinsmen instead of walking with God. All right? So unless you so so let me go back and say, okay, so whether it's when you're trying to get supply, which supplies love and love is supply, whether it's supply unless it's whether it's supply from them as you're going out here trying to get supply and don't care how you get the supply because you're operating in your flesh like that supply is going to help you, but that supply is not. But when you're walking in your spirit, that supply is going to be forever and ever and ever everlasting. Immortal is everlasting. Get it? Okay. Hope you got it. But when you're walking in flesh, there is an end to flesh. There is an end to the world. There is an end to the earth. It is an end walking in that. In your carnal self, there is an end to that. So if you walking in love with that, that is all hate. And that right there is where the war is. And again I'm gonna talk about the warring um uh should I say about the warring today? I'm gonna say it. So yeah, because it's got to do with this subject. Warring is warring comes the reason why men war within. And again, men and women are not separated. We are one when we are in God. We are one. This is why God said that man and woman are one when it comes to God. He didn't say that man and woman are one because that means that we can be together or we can have sex with the same sex. That's not, he didn't say that. He didn't say that because if you get off into that, that's when you just going with your kind. You don't want to be dealing, and that's complete laziness too. Like you don't want to be putting no work into nothing in order to get what you need, the supply that you need. The supply has already been made. God is the supply. All you need is what's within you. You have the resources. That is there. The resources of love. That supply of love, that supply. That's the same thing. And men are not separated from women. Both man and woman are the same. And when it comes to warring, men are not the only ones warring. Man on the face of earth is warring. So that's male and female. Human. The human race is at a war within themselves. Period. And within themselves, that's not even the real them. That's their kinfolks them. That's the flesh them. That's the kinfolk. That's related to some other being. And that's plenty of deities that they are are undergoing worshiping. They are worshiping other gods like that. So we are both on the face of this earth warring, but everybody separate man from woman, which is why we war against each other as well. Number one, we at war with ourselves. And number two, we we war within ourselves towards others. We take that war out on others and we go battle them. So it's originally warring within ourselves because people are walking in their flesh them. That's where the war is. The war is in the flesh. But if you get out of the flesh and get into the spirit and humble yourself and go within, God will be right there as your main supply. Because God is the love that we need. Okay? He's all we need. All right? And 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 of course wisdom comes. The wisdom that we try to obtain from men is from another man, male or female. It doesn't line up with what the word says. We are we getting wisdom from from human, but the wisdom comes from God. God is wisdom. He's many names. God is wisdom. We're gonna say we're going with God as wisdom, and then God as love, and then God as understanding. This is all he comes as all these things and more. So being happy is a thing, but being loved is much greater. And that's what I'm saying. Being loved is much greater than being happy. Being in love, I'm not talking about being in love with somebody else. I'm talking about being in love with basically yourself, because God is there with you. So you have to be the love that you need to be in order to get fitted in edification wise to be before many and to be placed before anybody else. So whether or not you getting the supply, which is love, the supply ain't nothing but love. You just chasing after love. And you say, and so I hear so many men say, I don't love that girl. You was chasing after her supply before you met her. So you was going after her love for the longest. So you not loving that girl don't mean that you wasn't trying to get love from her. Which means you did love her. You did love her. But the war inside of you overtook because you was in your flesh. That's where the war is. You was in your flesh after it didn't the love supply ran out. Because sometimes you got some women and some men, because we're not different. We're all human beings on the face of this earth. And then there's God. Okay. But again, sometimes some women just give the love away. They just give their love away. The supply that God has supplied them with. Some women give their love away. Some men give their love away. Depends on um depends I can't even really say that. But every man, and I'm gonna say it like this, most men and women, which we are one, most men and women will give their supply away, not knowing that they are giving it away, but just doing what they normally do, you know, giving all of it, everything, and just easily giving it away, putting it into somebody else's hands, which uh just putting it into somebody else's hand, thinking that, okay, that they're gonna give back to you love. But if they're walking in their flesh, they can't give you nothing but darkness. They can't give you nothing but darkness. All that's going to come from them is wickedness from out of the evil because they're in their flesh. They can't give you nothing. There's no fire, no nothing in there. They're going to get burned up, but there is no fire there. You're the one that carries the possession of the fire when you're walking in love. And you passing it on to somebody, they're going to take that. Easily take it, even though they know they can't do nothing with it because they don't even know what it is. They just on taking it and tossing it away, giving it away. Now you got to go and try to gather back your body parts to fit in to the edification as God edifies your body back to place into love. And now you're shining like the brightest light ever all over again. But it don't take very long. It don't take long. It don't take long depending on what you been put into as you just giving it to that person. Because again, some people will just give you their love when they come through the door. So that person ain't gotta stay there that long. They just come in and go right back out the next day. Then you got some people who are selfish with their love, and the person who came to take the love away due to them being in their flesh, but they don't know that this other person is in their flesh too. But they filled with so much love, and their supply of love, they don't even know that supply is even on them. All they doing is just operating in selfish type of stuff. All they doing is walking in selfishness. And they'll give you a little bit here and a little bit there. And then sometimes they'll give it all to you. But they still gonna keep what they need to keep. And that's still walking in hate because they ain't even supposed to have that supply of love. They just got a supply of love built up inside of them, and they ain't willing to give it to you. But they showing all the signs of everything, like they getting along with you, they doing everything, but they will not give that love away. And that love ain't even in God. Because although they have that supply, it's not, it's deadened. It's a bunch of shiny light, but it's covered in darkness. That means that it ain't getting no breath. It ain't breathing. But yet, that person who came as the little thief in the night came to take it, but there's no way they can take it. Because they got the light, but they got a little piece of darkness covering that light. So it ain't no way that person can really take it. That person is just there. And they gonna be there for a long time until that person who got the so-called love, but that darkness covering it, is gonna tear them apart at the end of all of that. Gonna tear them apart. They gonna be catching sicknesses. They gonna be they gonna really they gonna be catching death. They gonna catch all kind of hell because they think that this supply of love, they really got one. They got the no. This supply of love is covered with darkness. So we got the ones that's extreme where they just give you their love right away, and then you take it and you go. That's then you good. But then you got the ones that supply, which is love, and they it's buried up underneath darkness. So they only giving you darkness. But that whole light is for them. They covering that. That's for them to keep. You can't have that. You can have this darkness though. But they'll give you a little piece here and a little piece there to make it seem like they doing something. Or make it seem like they into you, but really they finna put a killing to you. Eventually. Now that's the one you stay longer because that's the one that's putting up a fight. And you already got the war within because you in flesh, so you up for the fight. You like that. But then you got the ones that have no supply at all of love, and it's just pure darkness all the way deep down inside. It's no light there. You got that. And that one there, that person don't even that person meeting up with another person that's in their dark side, that person not going that's not gonna last, because that person going to tear that person up soon as they get next to the person. They ain't gonna even let them in. The thief ain't gonna be able to get in with that type of person, because they gonna be looking like they know what they want. But in reality, they got darkness. They pure dark. But they making it seem like they got some high confidence. But who is their confidence in? Their confidence ain't in Christ Jesus. Their confidence is in being self-centered. Okay? And all about themselves. So you got three different categories of supply. Some that will give it to you right away, and then you don't got that long to stay with them. Then you got some that, and this is only for thieves that don't stay long. These are thieves, robbers, people that don't want to stay. They only come for the supply of love. That love is supply, supplies love. So they only come for a little while, and then they gone. And how long they stay, they 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 trying to see how long they gonna stay with the person who got the supply of love, but stingy with it, with the darkness on top of it. And they are only giving the darkness to them, but they supply love for themselves. And then that person looking at them like, oh, how am I gonna break her down? Or how am I gonna break him down when he just stuck with it? He keeping it. Give me a little bit of supply of darkness to make me feel good. Oh yeah, because they kind with they kind, so they know what to do. They know what to do. And then you got the kind where they just ain't gonna give you no chance, because you in darkness, they in darkness, pure deep darkness. Ain't no light there. All the lights out. It's all darkness. So they just a shadow, just like you a shadow. And so they just walking around. They like, mm, walking like they confident, but they don't have no confidence. And then they look at you like, yeah, you ain't my type. I don't like you. And then they ready to leave you alone. So you got that. It look like they got confidence, but in reality, you just dodged a bullet. Okay. Okay. But at the same time, it takes getting into the spirit to know who you dealing with. So always know that unless you you know, un, uh, unless you waiting to deceive somebody, it is about love. Okay? Unless you're waiting to deceive somebody, it has to be edified, builded up, an edification of love. It has to be in love. It has to be. Unless you're ready to deceive somebody and get away with that. If it's not about love, when you speak to to me, or when you speak to anybody, just do not, just leave them alone. Leave them alone. Keep walking, because then this spills off into the rest of your body parts. So whatever you speak, it said, whatever a man speaks, so is he. So if you're speaking out in deception, which is underneath your tongue, deception is in you because you walk in the flesh, then that stuff gonna fill your whole body, and your whole body is gonna be a shadow. So you are blowing your own smoke inside of you, causing your own war inside of you, because you're dealing in flesh, and you will not submit in into spirit. You will not submit to spirit and humble yourself. So know that. Always know that if you got a war, well, if you're warring within, and the man's thing is warring within, which has caused them to be so very emotionally draining, or emotional, or just emotional in general, due to the foundation of the parenting situation, which is no mother and father to to base that foundation, it's going to be a little something harder because that person was from a single parent home or just was in a situation where the mama stayed with the dad because she didn't want to leave him, or something like that, when she knows she should have, or something like that. Now that can cause um an emotional withdrawn person where they just so emotional and out here. Is why the relationship that you have is the relationship you have with somebody is beneficial. It's important. It's very important. It's very important. So do know that that's the reason why it gases not only the person who wants to supply up. I mean, it doesn't gas only you up, the person who's trying to gas you up. What they call that gas, what do they call it? Gassing, gas, lighting somebody, gas lighting. It don't only gas you up, what they bringing on to you, it gases them up too. They being gassed up too and turning into smoke on the inside. Because that's what not having love does. When you walking in flesh, it makes a shadow. That shadow ain't nothing but a smoke. And that smoke ain't nothing. If you look clearer, it's dust. Because when the wind come by, it's blown with the wind, tossed to and fro with the wind. So that's what I wanted to say about love today. Um, Again, always know that if you don't love, you must know that this has to happen, which is you must be increased in the body to the edification of it. All right. That's my main message, is that if you don't love, you must be increased in the body to the edification of it. All body parts must be fitted into love due to the supply. Okay. And supply is nothing but love. Love is supply and supply is love. That is one word. They sound different, but they are the same according to the Bible. Supply is love and love is supply. That's all that is. And if you don't get edified of love, you're going to be trying to go and get somebody else's supply of it. And you're going to be hurting yourself every chance. No matter how long it takes you to get the supply, if it takes you from short to long term to get the supply, you're going to still be hurting yourself trying to get love from somebody else other than yourself. So stay in love. Stay in love means to be at peace. And to be at peace is almost like you're going to be having to go into war. And that war is not the war that you it's not the warring that you used to doing. That type of warring is gonna have to stop. You gotta stop warring on the inside of yourself. And yourself is not, you in the wrong self. That's all I'm gonna say. You in the wrong self. You are supposed to be in the spirit, not in your flesh. Okay? You just in the wrong self. And when you in the wrong self, which is your flesh, then your kind gonna be with your kind, and God's kind gonna be with His kind. Just know that. And whatever that adds up to, the title it adds up to, is that title, and that's something you walking in. Them type of guys will take you on long distances away, and your body parts gonna be scattered all over the place, according to the Bible. So get love, right, of your own. Love. They always say, love yourself. Yeah, love yourself. You are love. Okay, you are love. Love is self. Bye bye. And welcome to, and not welcome to my class, but thank you for coming to my class. And stay tuned for more as I am trying to grow here. Uh, talk to you tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye bye.